Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
What is up? Today is Wednesday, September 18th, 2019. This is the Big Play Podcast. Thank you for tuning in, however you're tuning in, on Facebook, on Periscope, on Twitter, whoever else, AOL Instant Messenger,
YouTube,
ICQ. No one knows about ICQ. It was big back in the day. I am your host, Big Play J. Find me on Twitter at the Big Play J. Can't find me on Instagram because I'm not on there. On Facebook too. Whatever you want to do. Try searching my real name. Good luck with that. The gentleman to my right here, the patriot of participation ribbons, the advocate for avocado toast. You know him. He's the resident millennial. Big Play Beats. What's up, Mike? How are you, brother?
You know, I'm great. This week, I've been just getting laid into for being a millennial.
Why? What's the problem?
We're soft, apparently.
Well, I mean, that's a known thing, right? Why is that new?
Oh, no, I'm just saying
is
this.
Post Malone under fire? Is there a new Fire Festival document? Is something going on there?
That would be devastating if Post Malone
It would be devastating, yeah. We got a big show here today, Mike. Let's go through our lineup. Yes. So we're going to start the show where we always start, and that's talking about tonight's fuel. And we're very proud to bring on a new sponsor, Saucy Brew Works. We're going to previewing their great IPA ASAP.
ASAP.
Looking forward to that. Then on deck, we're going to talk about the games coming up this weekend, week 3 of the NFL, week 4 of college football. Nice slate on the docket. In Pretender Contender, a new segment, we're going to get into some of the undefeated squads, not necessarily teams, players too. Maybe it's an offense, a defense, someone who's stepping up, but we just don't know if they're legit yet. We got to talk about them. Our fantasy locks, we're going to get you prepped for this weekend's fantasy football matchups. And then hell yeah, you know that segment. We're going to give you our opinions on the latest sports news. And then we'll talk about what's going on next week. But, of course, we got to start the show where we always do. Let's find out what's fueling this week's Big Play Podcast.
Today's secret ingredient is scallop, mushroom, pizza dough, hamburger. Today's secret ingredient is
Oh, Mike, this is one of my favorites. We actually started our preview a little early this week. If you recall, on Saturday.
Oh, yeah?
We had a little Saucy Brew Works IPA ASAP. This is delicious. This is one of their core cans, meaning it's a regular in the lineup.
Ooh, it's on the line.
For good reason, okay? It's a crisp, dry, citrusy IPA. Let me spill a little knowledge on you here, Mike.
Ooh.
The IBU here is 66. Do you know what IBU stands for?
Isn't it like International Bitterness Units or something? Or...
Wow, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Are you glad you used your chemistry major?
I was going to say
that's the one time this
Zymurgy,
week.
which is I think Zymurgy is brewing beer. It's
okay,
it's a chemistry thing.
I have like a marketing degree I use once a week. It's like I have one good idea. I'm
a biology major.
So let's talk
it's not that, yeah.
IBU. Okay,
right.
So your basic light lagers are like a 8 to 12, if you will, kind of in that range. So they're not very bitter. An IPA is usually 60 to 80 on that scale to 100. This is a 66. So not quite as bitter. A smoother IPA, which I like. Okay?
I agree. I'm a fan. It's the level of hoppiness. That's really a lot of people here. Like they taste bitterness, and that's the hoppiness. I'm a fan of it. It's smoother,
Yeah.
like you're saying.
6.3%. It's a little kick there. Little kick. Not too bad.
Yeah, you got to offset that bitterness.
I love it, though. This is one of my favorite IPAs. On a scale of Ryan Fitzpatrick to Tom Brady, where would you put this, Mike? Just give us your review.
Are we talking skills or how they look? Actually, I need to know.
In general, we're talking football skills.
Because my
Give me
answer was
one.
going to be Josh Rosen. He's a very good-looking man. But I was like, I don't know if we're
You
talking
would go
skills
there.
because I don't know. I know that I like this.
Thank you. Dave.
I'll take a hell no for that take.
You deserve that, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just say quarterback skills. Okay.
Quarterback skills, Brady.
Yes.
This is more like maybe like Russell Wilson.
Wow. So
Very,
this is
very
up there
good
for
beer,
you.
yeah,
okay. I was
absolutely.
going to say Aaron
Does
Rodgers.
a lot. Ooh,
So
wow.
this
Absolutely
is up there. But check
talented.
them out.
Okay.
Saucy
They're gonna
Brew
have
Works.
fun. And to me, that's the most important thing. And the fact that we get to go play another game in the playoffs and see what we can do, that's stinking awesome.
Stinking awesome. That is stinking awesome.
Yeah.
Check them out on Twitter at Saucy Brew Works. Go grab a 6-pack. Enjoy. Let's get into the show, guys. Let's find out what is on deck this weekend. An interesting weekend of college football here, Mike. We're already into week 4, which is odd to me. It's weird. You know, I feel like an old person in the office. Oh, I can't believe it's already September. It's already the middle of September.
Yeah.
Right?
I think I said it this week, though.
Isn't the first official first day of fall? Is it September 21st?
Yeah, 21st.
This is an equinox, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Also a bad Chevy model, if I remember.
Yeah, the autumnal.
My grandma used to have one. Anyways.
Got him!
Thank you, sir. This is a welcomed weekend after last week. And, of course, we were off. We didn't get to talk to it. There were 29 games decided by 21 points or more
Yeah,
last
it was
college football.
It was not exciting.
I'm calling this a considerate weekend, Mike. And because the good games are tiered time-wise. So you can watch all of them, right?
Oh, nice. Get in on that action.
And we start on Friday. We've got Utah, the Utes, undefeated, visiting USC. This game's Friday, 9 o'clock on FS1 at the LA Memorial Coliseum. Utah is favored at -4. This has actually moved down a little bit this week.
Yeah.
USC's coming off that heartbreaking loss to BYU in overtime, 30-27. They fought very hard. Keaton Slovis, the true freshman quarterback, though, had 3 interceptions in that game.
Yeah, that hurts.
Looked like a freshman.
Yeah, he did. He really did.
Utah, they took care of Idaho State. There's a tough one. Their D has only given up 116 yards in total, Mike. That's pretty damn good. They're giving up 9.7 points per week, which is 6th in the country. And their quarterback last week, Tyler Huntley, was 15-19, 3 touchdowns. Very
Controlled the game, right?
efficient. What do you think's going to happen? Give me some thoughts here, Mike.
Honestly, this game 100% depends on Keaton Slovis. He had a really strong game against a bad Stanford team.
Right.
He only threw 1 interception. You can't turn the ball over. And then he goes out last week, really struggles, 3 picks. It was a letdown road loss to BYU, honestly. So my problem is the Utes are the best of those 3 teams. And then you throw a freshman. Like, it's a test that I don't think he's going to pass, honestly. The Utes giving up the 4 to 3.5 points. I would take that all day, honestly. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout. I just think Utah controls this game.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm surprised the spread's so close, quite frankly. Utah is giving up 65 yards per game on the ground.
I wonder if that's Vegas knowing the average gambler may not realize that Utah, like we picked Utah to win this division, right? We were like, they're our dark horse outside of Oregon, right?
Do you think anyone this week's like, is that Urban Meyer still coach out there?
Oh gosh,
That's old school, right?
Somebody
there.
came out from under a rock. Yeah,
Yeah.
No, I actually
is he
forget
at
that he did
Bowling
that.
Green?
Yeah, dude, I actually forgot he was coaching out there. I forgot about that.
I got Utah by 10, 24-14, something like that. Cover the spread, pretty easy win.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like either like 34-24, 34-20. I just think they just struggle a little bit. Maybe they pick up some late points. That doesn't really matter. But Utah is going to control this game.
Boy, tough year for Clay Helton. Of course, he has to win to keep his job, is the thought.
I think so.
We'll see what happens there. Another fun one. Here's where our considerate schedule comes back into play, Mike. This is Saturday at noon. Number 11, Michigan, visiting Wisconsin. Number 13, this is at Camp Randall Stadium in Madison. Wisconsin only favored by 3.5 here. Little bit surprising. So Michigan's coming off that bye week. The week before that, they won an OT thriller barely
Go
against
Army,
an
baby.
Army team in OT. Wisconsin, that defense of theirs, Mike, has not given up a single freaking point.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, though, Central Michigan and South Florida aren't the Wolverines.
That's
I mean,
fair.
You're going to go 110-0. I mean, it makes sense to me. Honestly, one of the reasons they've done it, though, is they've been really efficient. Jonathan Taylor, tailback, give him the rock, Heisman
Thank you.
hopeful. Oh, I'm never going to leave. If I get an opportunity to reference that, JTT is coming out of my mouth.
Please do. Yeah.
Yeah. But also, Jack Cohn's been very efficient. I see them going in and they're going to do what they do. And they've been already establishing themselves. Michigan looks like a team that's trying to find themselves. You're celebrating after an OT win over Army.
Right.
What does that tell you about Michigan's program?
Yeah.
So I just don't see them. I mean, they beat Middle Tennessee as well. Do you know who else beat Middle Tennessee? By a similar score as Duke. Duke's, and this is a down year for Duke, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Duke 41-18. I mean, I just don't see this being a game where Michigan actually comes out and surprises some people, takes this, like, steals a win in Camp Randall. I love watching games at Camp Randall. I wish it was a night game, though, because I would love to see that jump around where everybody goes nuts and it's just the whole place is shocked. I think it'll still happen, but I just don't think, though, I don't think the Badgers get khakkied enough.
I agree. So the interesting part about Michigan is they brought in Josh Gaddis to revolutionize this offense. And I thought it was pretty telling against Army. There were 2 4-and-1s, 2 short yardage plays where they needed yards. They just went between the tackle. They didn't put the ball in Shea Patterson's hands. Nothing creative.
Yeah.
No faith.
I wonder.
You got to have faith, guy.
Gotta have faith.
Wrong version. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Did I just Limp Bizkit? Is that what I just did?
No. That was more George. That was definitely George Michaels.
That's nice.
Right. So what do you
really
think's
nice
the final score here?
Oh, gosh. I actually think they control again. I think another 31-20.
Okay.
Game. And that's if Michigan gets 20.
I know.
Unless they're holding something back. And I can't bet on that. I just don't see it happening. I think 31-20. And Wisconsin gets up early and just kind of grinds it out.
Yeah, I don't think Denard Robinson or Braylon Edwards are coming back anytime soon. No. I think they're going to win pretty easily, 24-10. Good one, Saturday, 3:30, Auburn visiting Texas A&M. This is a CBS game at College Station in Texas. Texas A&M's opening up as the favorite here, 3.5, which tightened up a little during the week. Auburn, of course, had that easy W last week against Kent. They got it done on the ground. Jatavius Whitlaw, he's got 341 yards this year. He's top 10 in the nation. So that line's starting to play well. They're starting to be cohesive. Texas A&M also had a cakewalk. They beat Lamar 62-3. Is Lamar, what are they one? Is that a FCS team?
Actually, I don't even know.
Yeah.
I had to look up where Lamar is
at. Right. No.
It's just not a strong. Honestly, this lets them tune up, though. That's exactly what that game is. I think it's a good pick, especially when they played Oregon to start the year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I actually like that they did that to prepare for this game. I'm excited for this game.
Yeah, me too.
The only thing is you have a freshman quarterback.
Yeah, Bo Nix.
Made some great plays at the end of that game, the first week, but he had some freshman plays for sure. As a fan of the sport, I can't wait for this game. It was a really tough one to pick. But I'm honestly going to take Kellen Mond and Jimbo Fisher in the 12th man here.
Okay.
I do think it's a little bit lower scoring. I don't think it's going to be like 17-14, but for me, lower scoring anymore is starting to get below 30.
Yeah, that's
maybe
fair.
28-24, maybe 24-17, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, I agree. I think Texas A&M pulls out a close one the next 6 games. So after this, Auburn has a stretch where there's Florida, LSU, and Georgia spread over the next 6 weeks. Ooh. So if they don't get a W here, it doesn't get much easier.
Not at all.
Speaking about doesn't get easier, it doesn't get easier for Notre Dame here as they visit the Georgia Bulldogs, come in as number 7, visiting number 3. This is Saturday, the primetime game, 8 o'clock on CBS.
Go.
This is a classic. If you recall, 2 years ago, in September of 17, they had that classic at South Bend where Georgia pulled it off late, 20-19 defensive game. Notre Dame had a cakewalk last week. They beat New Mexico 66-14. They've got one huge weakness, Mike, and that's the 120th ranked rushing defense. That's a problem against a physical, tough Georgia football team.
Oh, yeah.
Georgia's kind of the opposite. They've got the 6th ranked rushing defense. They've only given up 61 yards.
It's impressive.
That's per game. So that is huge. What do you think's going to happen in this one? I don't see a great game here. I think that's kind of the general consensus. What are your thoughts?
I think this is going to be a dud. I hate to say it, and I think you teed me up really well here. The defensive line of the Fighting Irish, I think Georgia offensive line is just going to roll them. I've been high on Jake Fromm for years, and I don't think he's going to have to do very much.
Right.
I think he is just going to take what they give him when they give it to him. And honestly, they're going to have to put 8-9 guys in the box. I don't see them stopping the run game at all. I think it's actually a dominating win. Like, I think this is bad for the Notre Dame program this year.
Vegas has it at minus 13.5. I think they struggle pretty mightily in this game and cover very easily.
That might be low.
Side. Yeah.
Like, that's where I was like, I was looking at what I just watching the offensive line play, watching the defensive line play from the Notre Dame game, and I just can't see it. I mean, I don't see it yet. Ian Book's a very good quarterback. I think he's in. I don't want to say very good. He's pretty good.
Yeah, he'd have to play at an elite level throughout the whole game to keep up with their athletes, and I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, I think he'd have to throw 80 to 90% completion rate and just control the ball. Yeah, like I think they'd have to keep it a low scoring game where he is just perfect.
I saw the greatest SEC guy headline. Yeah. I forget what newspaper it was.
By God,
but it was coming? Jake fromming at the mouth to get after Notre Dame.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. It was like Southland something. It was great. Typical SEC guy.
That's awesome.
Well, let's talk about the big boys that play on Sunday, Mike, and sometimes Thursday and Friday, I guess. But I wouldn't say they play much on Thursday. It's kind of a dud.
Last week was a rough game to watch.
Yeah,
fan or no fan, it was tough to watch execution too.
Speaking of rough weeks, Mike, this is a rough weekend in the NFL. I dub this, go ahead and get some of that yard work done Sunday, right? Like you're putting off some things.
Yeah, I feel like you plan ahead on these ones. You look at the schedule, you do that. I'm a dummy. I watch every game no matter what.
Yeah.
But I think you're smart about it. Like you're early on like, hey, I got to get this weekend to build up some credibility, Spend some time with the family.
Oh, you'll learn. You'll learn, young Michael. Yeah. So our first game of intrigue here, we've got Baltimore visiting Kansas City. This is a 1:00 game on CBS. Kansas City currently at minus 6.5. I don't believe I'm saying this, at least in one regard. This is two of the league's top 3 offensives.
In Baltimore's involved,
Mike,
right?
Yeah. Baltimore continues to fly under Lamar Jackson's tenure. He's 2-0. Last week he threw for 272 yards. 2 TDs. He rushed for 120 yards, too. Oh, my God. Kansas City, of course, won 28-10 versus the Raiders. They're now 2-0. The Raiders kind of had Mahomes figured out there in the first quarter. Yeah. It was interesting. I saw the score scrolling through and clicked over real quick.
10-0 at one point?
He looked a little odd. Then the second quarter happened.
Oh, yeah.
And he had 4 touchdowns.
It was the first play of the second quarter touchdown, right? Yeah. And they just... That's what the Chiefs can do.
It was insane. What do you see happening here at Arrowhead Stadium?
Honestly, right now, and I've predicted with the Ravens, I think they're going to be successful this year. But I thought at the end of the year, people are going to start to figure them out a little bit. I think right now they are very legit.
Yeah.
For week 4 or 5, people are going to start to have enough film on them. They're going to start to see these tendencies. There's only so many ways you can skin a cat, right? Like there's only so many ways you can get around it. That being said, it's going to be a lower scoring game than we're kind of used to with the Chiefs. With the Chiefs, I should say. But I do think the Ravens are going to go back to that old school. Let's keep the ball away from them.
Yeah,
I think it might be less offense than everybody's looking for, and that's where Harbaugh is a very good coach. He's going to use Lamar Jackson's dual threat ability to keep Patrick Mahomes off the field. Don't let him get into a rhythm.
Sure.
But I still think Kansas City is that good.
Yeah.
That offense is incredible. Unless they get down big early, I see them actually winning this game. I think the over-under is 55. So I think it's a low-scoring game in the sense that it'll be 50 points.
Right.
So
let's not forget about Baltimore's D too, Mike, and defense. That came off really bad there for a second. Right? No, let's forget about their D. And thanks, by the way, Ryan Sumser on Facebook says, "Jay, that hat is fire." Akron Rubber Ducks, brother. Thank you very much.
That's
the away
awesome.
alternative, as I recall. The Baltimore defense is giving up 20.5 rushing yards per game, Mike. 20.5.
They were playing the Dolphins week 1.
I don't care if they're playing the Little Giants, dude. That's impressive.
Great,
but Rick Moranis was a good coach. In his defense, rest in peace.
Wait, Wait, he's dead?
Yeah, didn't he die? I thought he died. No?
No.
Oh, that's John Ritter. I always mix up the two.
Oh, my God.
I know.
Wait,
I should move
isn't
on.
that Three's Company?
Got him.
Yes, John Ritter.
No
Come
breaking
and knock
news
on
here.
our door. I know. Yeah, all of a sudden.
Oh
I hope I
my
didn't
God.
alarm anyone. I'm sure.
You had me for a
all
second
the
there.
ladies
I
were
thought
like,
maybe I
not
missed-
him.
Yeah, it was a busy day for me. I was like, maybe I missed some recent pop culture.
Well, they come in threes, but anyways.
Oh, God.
I think Baltimore wins a shootout. I'm on the opposite side of
Wow.
you. I think Baltimore wins a close shootout, 31-28, something in that nature.
All right,
I'll tell you
59,
what.
so just over.
Yeah, just over the over, right? Rover.
Rover.
Anyways, sorry, Dave. There goes your ears.
All right.
So that'll be a fun game. This was going to be a very fun game until this past weekend happened. New Orleans is visiting the Seattle Seahawks, 4:25 on CBS. This is, of course, at CenturyLink Field and Las Vegas. Seattle had an interesting win last week. They grinded out a W against Pittsburgh, 28-26.
Yeah.
Rick Moranis confirmed alive.
Confirmed alive. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Right, Dave's still here, by the way, people, if you didn't know.
Ryan
Yeah.
Sumser also agrees that Little Giants are better than Dolphins.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
That's 100%.
Especially when they run the annexation of Puerto Rico.
I mean,
Great play.
Icebox would have got more than 20.5 yards. That's all I'm
Box,
saying.
yes. But Russell Wilson was brilliant in this game. He had 300 yards. He had 3 TDs. He controlled the game. Boy, the New Orleans Saints, their fan base, and I think everyone kind of held their collective breath last week. They lost 27-9 to the LA Rams, which was only part of the story. Drew Brees left the game in the second drive.
There's the story.
When he collided with Aaron Donald. He had surgery today, from what I understand. Expected to be out 6+ weeks. Yikes. Teddy Bridgewater stepping in. And he struggled, quite frankly. What do you think's happening in this one, Mike?
So I think I have a weird take on it. When I pick fantasy, I do a lot of this stuff. I'm watching game flow. I'm thinking, how am I going to win this game if I'm this coach, right? Like, what are you going to do to execute and, have a shot to win it at the end of the game? Because at the NFL, that's what it's all about. Is like get to the fourth quarter, win a game oftentimes when you're evenly matched. I actually think this week, I think the Saints had I thought they were much better than the Seahawks when they had Brees. Now I think they're pretty even, but I think the Saints outside of that quarterback position is a better top to bottom team.
Right.
So you're going to see a lot of Alvin Kamara. You might not see as much Michael Thomas, but they're going to go up top to him a couple times. You're going to see a lot of play action, a lot of bootlegs, things like that. I think Sean Payton's going to kind of use Taysom Hill a little more.
Yeah.
A lot of wrinkles, little things like that. And I think having this whole week, the defense can really they can game plan for it to a point.
Sure.
But not like Sean Payton can. In my opinion.
Right.
He's a genius at this point. So I think it's probably, if it comes down to the end of the game, fourth quarter, I'm going to go to Seahawks. I'm going to Russell Wilson. I think he's just a better quarterback. I think that's an obvious statement, but Teddy Bridgewater just showed us he isn't Drew Brees last week. So it's going to be a totally, I literally think it's going to be a different offense, which I think early in that game is really going to play in the Saints' favor. If they can get up early and then ice it with Kamara, you're good. But I'm actually going to take the Saints here. This would be a pick where I would just a little upset.
Wow.
I think then after this, you'll see the regression to the meanwhile. Breeze is out. But I think they get up early, they control the game, and then Russell Wilson throws a lot, but just can't pull it off at the end.
Yeah, I'm kind of the opposite. I think Seattle kind of keeps up that death by 1,000 cuts approach they kind of had versus Pittsburgh. A lot of small routes, a lot of crossing routes, very efficient plays throughout the game.
Yeah.
Last week he had an 83% completion percentage, Mike, which was the best of his career. I mean, great game by Russell
Is he just
Wilson.
getting better and better each year?
He is. It's funny how money will make you do that. And Sierra, too.
Oh,
right.
Wow. Yeah. That was a big upgrade.
Yeah. So, anyways, moving on. Let's move on to a fun new segment. This is called Pretender Contender, baby.
Yeah.
Our guy on Periscope, by the way, Mr. _Dixie7 points out a very interesting matchup that's going to happen in that game. Lattimore versus DK Metcalf.
I'm taking Lattimore.
Yeah, me too. Yep. Metcalf had on a nose ring last week. Mike, did you notice that?
Oh, did you see Zeke had one too a couple weeks ago?
Charlie so my 3-year-old goes, Dad, what's on his nose? I was like, whoa, even if you're noticing that.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways.
I couldn't do that.
No.
I couldn't even think of it.
You should. One of these weeks, you should just come in with a nose ring.
Honestly, I
like
think
the 4 non-blondes lady,
feel
that
like
big hoop.
I'd get it caught on the mic, let alone my face mask or somebody trying to tackle
Be
me
like
or
a
something.
bass, like you caught yourself. There's a big one. It's a lunker.
That would be quite the viral story.
Anyways, guys, we got a new segment here we call Pretender Contender. The premise is pretty simple. I'm going to give Mike and vice versa a team, a player, a concept, maybe an offense or defense, something of that nature. We're going to decide if they're a pretender or contender. Mike, I'm going to start with you. Let's go in the NFL. The San Francisco 49ers.
Pretender, man.
Ooh.
Hell no, to the no, 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 hell to the no.
I love that. You can't use that one enough, Dave. So thank
No.
you very much. Good work there,
Really
sir.
can't, yeah.
What's your rationale here, brother?
And it for me to be a contender pretender, you are getting to a championship, right? So I'm gonna think a deep playoff run at the minimum. I think they're a very middling team. I think right now they look good, but this is a team that I think is like 500 talent wise.
Yeah.
Couple injuries. We've seen Jimmy G get hurt already, so he goes down. We know they're already out of it.
Right.
Barring that, though, I think they're between a 6-10
Yeah.
and a 9-7, 8-8 team. So that's why I say a pretender. It looked really good, but they beat the Bengals without AJ Green, which we've seen in the past that's a huge,
and
huge
then
changes
this
their
week,
entire team.
They have Pittsburgh without Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah,
so
so I
that'll
think
be interesting.
That's where I see him going more to the 9-7. But that only happens for so long that you don't have those injury bugs that affect you as much.
That's fair. Let's go from good to average team to really awful to holy shit team. Contender pretender, Mike. The Dolphins' chances of going 0-16.
Oh, I think that their chances of going 0-16 is a real contender.
No doubt.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, they're trying to win a championship eventually, right? They're getting there as fast as they can. I hate tanking, but I'm a Cleveland fan, and I saw how that worked for them.
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't think they tried to make it as obvious, but look at them now. Like,
Yeah.
you were excited about OBJ on a Monday night game because of it, right? Like you pulled in Myles Garrett, you bring in Baker Mayfield, you
Right,
bring in Jarvis, you bring in all these guys, Nick Chubb,
Yeah.
quality players. FYI, Mr. Dixie 7 also thinks that they're a playoff team with Baby Brady, aka Jimmy G. If they can all stay healthy and they keep getting lucky, I mean, they're one game away, in my opinion, like 9-7. If you go 10-6, you might sneak in as the wild card team
Sure.
or something.
Yeah.
But if they got, we have Ryan Sumster saying if they got Jalen Ramsey, I actually agree with that. If they can pick him up, now you have a shutdown. That adds a little bit. They have that young D line.
Right.
I would actually really like that as well. Thanks for
like
the comments,
that
by the way.
idea,
Keep
too.
bringing them. We'll talk about it as much as we can.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
But no, Dolphins, contender in the fact that they're tanking, but they suck.
Let's move on to college football, Mike. This conference has 6 teams ranked in the AP Top 25. Pretender, contender, the Pac-12.
Oh, they're pretenders.
Wow, Dave,
I was
this
literally,
guy.
I was waiting for the techno music. It
I
triggered
know.
me. And
We
I,
got
felt it come
codes.
through.
Everybody get in here. Anyways,
Wait,
flashback.
are you working on a McFadden?
No, I can't do it. I'm not
the
deep
Mutt
enough.
Guru.
I'm not man enough for that. All right.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Pac-12. What do you think, bro?
All of a sudden, there's gonna be 1,000 people in. Where's the code?
I know. Yeah. I like this guy. I'm going to watch every week, I swear.
Every week, I swear. No, Pac-12 pretenders. I think Utah is arguably the best team in their side of the conference. Then you have Oregon, and Oregon played. I was disappointed in Oregon against Auburn, honestly.
Right.
And I don't think I'm going to get over it. I know that's the first week, so they have a long time to prove otherwise. But if that's your best 2 teams, I'm just not feeling it. I can't do it.
So the 2 of the ranked teams, I noticed this as I looked through the schedule previously. 2 of them beat Stanford when they were ranked.
Oh, and Stanford's is horrible.
That was 2 of the 3 ranked opponents for these 5 teams.
Yeah.
Side note. So that's a problem. Anyways, what about Contender Pretender here? A team that gutted out an 18-17 win against their rival Iowa State. The Iowa Hawkeyes, Mike.
Pretender.
Wow. Just mix them up every week.
I'm gonna warm it up. I like it. No, I just think they're a pretender. I think Iowa State's a pretty good team, and it's a rivalry game early in the year. But they really needed help here to get it. Like they just struggled through it. They just, I just don't see them actually making it happen this year.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I could lay into it, but
Yeah, no, I can't. Okay, go ahead.
All right, Jay.
Yeah,
I want to
brother.
go to you on this one. This
Please
one is one
do.
I'm
Please
super
do.
excited about because if you look in the top right of that screen, you got the Bills Mafia out
Look
there.
at him, Josh Allen.
Pretender or contender, the Buffalo Bills.
I'm saying pretender. I'm going to catch heat for that. Bills Mafia is going to put me through a table.
To me, it look like a leprechaun to me. All I gotta do is look up in the tree. Who else in the leprechaun say yeah? Yeah!
I can't wait till St. Patty's Day just for that. That's the best part.
Oh, you just got me really excited about St. Patty's Day a long way out.
Yeah, and this is by proxy of who they've played, Mike. So in week 1, they beat the Jets 17-16. Okay. Then they beat the Giants 28-24.
Okay.
Looked a little better. They've got Cincinnati at home this week. So the narrative's going to continue. The Bills are undefeated after this week. What's going on? Are the Bills for real? They've got the 9th worst defense in football, despite their 2 opponents there in the first 2 weeks in yards allowed. That's a problem. Pretender.
I have to agree with you. The only thing that makes it a little more interesting is how long is Darnold out? How long? Like, right? Like, if he doesn't get healthy and, like, Quinnen Williams is being out, if those things fall their way, I mean, obviously, they're 0-2 against the Patriots this year. There's no way they beat them.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Sorry.
Do we agree, though? We know the Patriots are obviously, this division, AFC East, is his house until he leaves, until Brady leaves. The team that's the closest, the heir apparent, I think are the Buffalo. Do you agree with that?
So I actually think completely healthy, the Jets and the Bills, again, like the 49ers.
Sure.
Right in the middle, 8-8. I could see them go from 6-10 to 10-6 with the right things happening.
Right.
So right now, obviously, you have half your stars on the Jets out. Mm-hmm. So I think the Bills are absolutely the next best team, which is not great for that division, except for the Patriots. But I want to stick to this, the Patriots here. I want to know what your thoughts are. The Patriots going 16-0. Is this a contender or pretender?
Pretender.
Whoa.
But not for a while. Let me explain. After a great sound effect. Unless Dave's not going to play one. He's getting very red. So this is going to continue really until week 9. Okay, because they don't play a team that made the playoffs last year until they play Baltimore on November 3rd. So they're going to be undefeated halfway through the season, right?
Yeah.
Then they've got a stretch where they've got, after Baltimore, they've got the Eagles away. They've got the Cowboys at home. They've got the Texans away. They've got the Chiefs at home. There's no way they don't slip and fall in one of those games. And in fact, if they go 2-2 in that stretch, they're still a 14-2 team at the end of the year. That's phenomenal. It's the best record in the league. They're the damn Patriots. They're going to go to the Super Bowl. We all know what's going to happen. But for now, I don't think they're going to go undefeated.
I agree.
Somewhere Mercury Morris is giving me a virtual high five, right?
Oh, yeah. And I think you're 100% on point. The fact that they're going to be 9. They're probably 9-0. Going into that stretch.
Mm-hmm.
They have the playoffs locked up with 1 or 2 wins. I think they pick their spots.
Yeah.
You're going to see week 13. Oh, we got a tough matchup and we got a couple of people banged up. They're definitely not suiting up. And they'll play some young guys.
Right.
Maybe develop, see what they're about. And then they'll probably ship them out.
Yeah.
Get too much for them. Mm-hmm. But I'm with you. I don't think they win all 16.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
it's going to be a fun run.
That'll be interesting to watch and root against.
Yep. What else you got, Michael?
So we're going to go back to the NCAA for you, my brother.
Please do it.
All right. Sorry.
What? What?
I read your note on accident.
Oh, that's okay.
Sorry. UCF.
I'm not going to use it now.
So this is where it's nice. It's like I didn't get to see yours.
So you didn't pay attention to anything this week, is what you're saying?
Oh, no. I'm just saying I didn't read this note specifically.
Right.
The UCF. Are they contenders or pretenders?
Oh, they're pretenders. Come on. Come on.
Killing me.
Hell no, to the no, hell to the no.
This is like debating the end of the Titanic. We know what happens here, right, Mike? Dude, you can't spoil that. I've been thinking about that all day. Like, I write down things, and I'm like, man, I can't wait to bring this out, man.
So is it just because you know the ending, or like
we
it's
know
a sinking
the
ship?
ending. Yeah.
Okay,
right,
I'm sorry.
Right. And Leo was highly overrated in that movie. Let's be honest, right? I don't know. That's the one movie I saw twice in a theater just because I was a hopeless romantic. at that.
I did the
You
same
know, I was like a
thing.
10-year-old kid,
I think
right?
I was in like 6th or 7th grade.
yeah.
Twice in theaters. The only other one, Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh God.
My
Anyways,
thoughts. Yeah.
they're 3-0. They've outscored their opponents 155-41. But who are their opponents here, Mike? Florida A&M, Florida Atlantic, Florida South, right, left, center, and a 1-2 Stanford team that they beat up on. They have Pitt on Saturday. This is going to be interesting. Pat Narduzzi is known to shoot himself in the foot. He did this past weekend against a rival. But he's also known to coach teams of lesser talent into contention in tight games, especially against teams that are ranked, right?
Yeah.
I think they stick around in with this one. Let's see if they have the moxie to compete. But we all know what's going to happen. They're going to go undefeated. They'll sniff the top 10. They're not going to get into the playoff. They're going to complain. They might make up a national title. They might even have a ceremony.
They may. Maybe a parade this
It's not going to happen. You guys, hey, you want respect? Schedule someone.
Yeah.
Schedule a legitimate non-conference contender.
Do you think Milton's legit? Mackenzie Milton, the quarterback?
Yeah.
I think he's a playmaker.
Brandon Wimbush, too? Yeah. Wimbush is
Yeah.
down there now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Brandon Wimbush. So he was the kid who started a few games for Notre Dame. He's down there now.
Oh my gosh. Why was I thinking
playing
Mackenzie
that.
Milton?
I don't know. You're thinking Milton Bradley. Never played football.
Got him!
Yeah.
Anyways,
That's fair. Yeah.
Let's move on.
All right. What about the LSU offense? You think they're pretenders or contenders?
Absolute contender. So this is what they did against, and I'm going to preface this, Northwestern State. Okay? Not Northwestern State. We'll add that.
What? I don't even know what state that's in.
They scored 7 TDs in under 3 minutes. So they're scoring quickly, Mike, right? More
Okay.
explosive, not lingering drives, not your LSU grind it out type offense. It's the second time in program history this year where they've scored 45 points or more in 3 straight games. So that tells you how this offense under Joe Burrow is progressing.
Absolutely.
They have 17 TDs, only 8 were 6 or more plays in a drive. So it's quick, it's dominating. It is phenomenal.
That
so
is fast.
good for them.
Yeah, that's exciting because they've just been so boring on offense for so
All
long.
of a sudden it's
Great defenses, and now you have a guy like Joe Burrow, has his second year in this offense, right? And he's really coming into his own.
right.
That's awesome.
Better interview than Ed Ogeron right now, though. God, that guy is great, right?
Oh,
Boy,
I-
I tell you what, Bokio, every time he talks, it's like he's got a mouthful of quarters.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
That guy bleeds gravy. You can't tell me. He's so Southern.
Oh my gosh,
He bleeds
biscuits and gravy all over everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some grits.
Yeah.
Nice.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Fun stuff. Speaking of fun stuff, let's help you prep for week 3 of fantasy football. Let's talk fantasy locks.
All right.
The premise of this one's pretty easy here, guys. We're going to give you a player in a particular position who's got a favorable matchup, someone you should start in your lineup. And if they're on waivers, they probably won't be, but you never know. My guy is on a lot of leagues. You should pick him up. So I've got Matt Stafford, the quarterback of the Detroit Lions. He's playing the Eagles. And the Eagles' defenses have given up 6 TDs, so they're tied for the second most. They've given up the second most yards through the air. They're only second behind 2 yards, behind the Raiders. So it's not like they're second by a bullet here, Mike.
No.
And Matt Stafford is having a career year as far as his efficiency. 65.3% of his passes are finding the mark. Matt Stafford's available. I saw a stat in like 48% of leagues.
It's incredible.
Pick him up.
Yeah, and honestly, he's a guy I always go late round flyer on.
Yeah,
like he's
yeah.
just gonna they're gonna huck it eventually at that point. He's got an arm, he's got the talent. He's actually not. He's surrounded by a decent amount of talent, so he's never gonna throw you a dud in my opinion.
Right,
That's
right.
where I like really trust him. And that's why I like him late. But I like that pick.
Matt Stafford's going to be a guy when he retires. Let's say he plays 8 more years. That people are going to look at his stat line and go, "Huh, really?" He's going to break a lot of passing records by the time he retires,
Oh.
and no one knows about it because he's in Detroit. He's never going to win a title, probably. Okay.
Yeah, I don't see it. I mean, Patricia's doing some good stuff there. They're starting to
Yeah.
be a little better, but I
Yeah.
agree with you. I think you're right. I think he's going to be a guy who's like Hall of Fame type numbers, but no rings to back it up.
Who do you got, my man? Who's your fantasy lock this week?
My fantasy lock this week is it's pretty obvious, but people are going to be down about this offense, and that's why I'm kind of switching it. Is Alvin Kamara?
Oh,
so he is a very good. But I actually see him like if you're in a PPR league, I see him going for 30+ this week.
Wow.
So I think they're going to revolve the offense around him. I think Michael Thomas levels off, maybe more of instead of the 20 to 30 in a PPR league, down to like 15. So I think he's a really good one. I actually struggled with this a little bit. I was looking at the fact that the Patriots and the Jets are playing each other.
Right.
I almost said Sony Michel. That's my little secret one, just because Darnold's not going to be there. We saw about that offenses. It's going to be similar to the Dolphins game. They're going to hand the ball off. He got the ball 15, 20 times both games so far this year.
Yeah.
He puts with 2 of those in. It's a huge day. He put 1 in early last time. I think you're going to see that again. So he's my like secondary lock, I would say. But
got it. I just thought of something. One, let's make a caveat. We can't just choose an opponent of the Dolphins every week.
Oh,
can we say that every? Let's just put that standard up.
Yeah, should we just like blink that on the can't pick?
Yeah, cannot pick. Disclosure, cannot pick the Dolphins opponent.
Yeah. And I usually am afraid of that Patriots backfield just because it's kind of hazy,
crowded.
But it's very crowded. Yeah. But I see like there's gonna be value there this week for sure. So daily fantasy picks, all those things like that.
Yeah. I just want to point out too in the Big Play Fantasy League, and we haven't really talked about it, so I'll just say it publicly in front of 1,000 or so people. I kicked Dave's ass this week. So
wow.
It was like 142 to 98, something like that. He's saluting me if a number 1. That's because I am number 1 in points in our league. So thanks, buddy. Appreciate
that. Was not a very nice number 1.
It wasn't.
That.
No. The finger was elongated.
Can I say this?
Yeah.
Is it the changing of the guard already?
He tried to say this
Too
week
early?
that it's because he didn't want people to think the league is corrupt. He won 3 years in a row. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this like a too early ranking right here?
It might be.
What's the power rankings
Contender
right now?
Pretender, my team. Go ahead, Mike.
Contender Pretender.
Yeah.
Tell me who are your running backs?
My running backs are. I'm gonna have to pull this because I just picked up some people off waivers.
Are you like me where you have too many leagues and I literally have to?
Yeah, I do have 4.
So in this specific league.
All right. So my running backs are Kerryon Johnson, Austin Eckler.
Oh,
my backups are Duke Johnson.
It's salty over there, huh?
And Josh Jackson.
Okay.
But I took a late round flyer. I took a late round flyer on Dak. Got Dak in the 12th round.
That's
my man.
feel really good. Yeah.
It does feel good. I've got Bobby. Who do I have? Ernesto's fine team this week. That should be an easy one. But we got to keep our foot on the pedal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, don't let off. Don't be the coach that, lays back for a week.
No. Let's not lay back a week at all here. Let's go. Pumped. Hell no. Hell yeah. That was great. That was a little production gap there. Wow. You gotta love live TV, right? Mike just opened one of his Saucy Brew Works IPA ASAP. Dave, was that a joke? Did you try to shake that up? Because that was hilarious. He just sprayed it on himself like he won a fantasy title right there. Wow.
I'm going to be so uncomfortable the rest of the show. I am soaked.
That's okay.
Off, I just saw for the first time what it looks like from the outside when the producer freaks out. The person running, oh yeah, that was like your arms went 6 different directions and you had it felt good, I'll be honest with you.
Right.
Because I was like, you guys bring it on. If I screw up, I do something or I'm like all over the place.
Yeah.
Bring it, but like it really was fun to watch from that side.
Well, Mike, thankfully with IPA ASAP, it's a crisp, dry, and citrusy taste, so you won't smell bad. You'll smell actually very nice when you get home. Right? You might not even want to wash your clothes.
That was
being
incredible.
honest.
That
if
was
we're
really
being
nice.
honest. Master of the live read.
I am legitimately soaked. And my phone was right there. Oh.
Oh, man. Can you go on? Are you ready for Hell
I'm
No?
good. I
Hell
got an
yeah.
out-of-box on that thing. We're good.
All right.
All right.
Mike, you are up, my man. Mike, USA Today came out with their list of 0-2 teams and ranked them according to panic level. Okay? The last was, of course, the Dolphins at number 9. We know that. And the top 3 were as follows. So least panic to, the most panic to the least.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, the Steelers. Number 2, the Panthers. Number 1, the Jags. Mike, of those 0-2 teams, do you agree that the Gardner Minshew-led Jags should be the least worried?
Oh wow! See, this was So when you say least worried, I need a like right away or just
shouldn't
in
panic,
general?
right? No panic right now.
This season,
yes. No, we're talking about next season, actually.
Well, I just want to make
That's
sure.
a crazy question.
Well, this is where if I'm talking Dolphins, I can't help but think it's all long term at this point, right?
Yeah.
It's not a 1 year, but that's like a 3-4 year plan.
Yeah, you should be a lawyer if this
Sorry.
is Ben. Could you just answer?
Politics. I actually think that is not. Yeah, hell no.
Hell no, to the no, 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 hell to the no.
I used to get mad at you guys when you wouldn't say hell no.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
God,
Anyways,
I thought you were going to filibuster the rest of the show here. It will be next year by the time
I
you
will be
answer.
reading Pride and Prejudice next.
Right.
It's a really inspirational thing. Hey, we're knocking things over. I love this. We're getting
That's
excited.
how fired up I am.
Yeah. No, I think the Steelers should be freaking out. I don't know enough about Mason Rudolph. And honestly, they may be like, hey, we have all this film. He is really good. Like, I think back to when Alex Smith was getting, the torch was being passed to Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Even if you're that sure,
Yeah.
you're not that sure until it really happens. So I think that's who the panic level right now.
Right,
I have
right.
the Steelers, even with the trade to get Minka Fitzpatrick, which honestly I kind of liked it. It showed some faith in this team. They're not going to quit, and I don't think the Roonies want to do that. So
Yeah.
I thought.
Well, you're kind of stepping on my toes here a little bit, but let's keep going.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So what about number 2? You've got the Panthers. Is it time to panic for them?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Hell no,
That's
to
right.
the no,
My
no,
bad.
no, hell to the no.
No, I think Cam's just a little beat up, honestly.
Yeah.
I think it shows with their play calling at the end of that game. I mean, there's just there's statistics everywhere. Mike Conahan, this guy I've known for years, he put a really great tweet out there. Find that tweet. It was about how QB sneaks are so effective. And if you look at who does the most, it's teams who've won championships. Yeah. And they usually do a lot of those. And they didn't, they're on they needed a half a yard. Mm-hmm. And they run kind of a trick play.
Yeah. Yep.
That's not, I don't think, that's not Ron Rivera. That's, I think the OC or somebody kind of knew, hey, Cam's not himself.
Right.
He's throwing high, which often is you're not stepping into a ball, things like that. So I think they knew, somebody figured it out that he was a little beat up and they tried something different. But I'm not panicking yet because it's not like a long term.
Sure.
So yeah, I think they're fine.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
Well, moving on, my man. Let's talk about Drew Brees. Ugh, this is sad.
Sad, hard to watch.
Drew Brees, as we said earlier, is rumored to be out 6 weeks. Hell no, hell yeah. Are the Saints equipped to keep their playoff hopes alive while he's out?
Hell yeah.
I love that one.
Oh, that's right. You shortened it real quick. Thank you. I was waiting for it to keep going. So if you take a look who they're playing, right?
Yeah.
So they are playing the Seahawks this week. I think it's a 50-50 game, honestly.
Sure,
I
sure.
take them because I think they have Sean Payton, and I think the advantage is going to him right in that week, just because they don't have to tip their hat in their game plan.
Yeah.
The next week I think is a loss for sure. I think the Cowboys have just hit a rhythm, and I think they're going to keep rolling. I think they floor them, honestly. So you lose that, but then you have Buccaneers, Jags, you play the Bears, and then you go to the Cardinals. If they come out of there 3-3, 2-4, they're okay.
Yeah.
They're
No,
just-
I
they'll be
agree.
all
It's
right.
not time to panic. The
No, I
team's
think-
good enough around him.
But he has to come back in 6 weeks. If he doesn't,
does.
it's over.
Oh, yeah,
right?
Yeah, for sure.
If he's 6-7 weeks over that, no way. But,
Speaking of over, can you read Ryan's last comment? Unfortunately, I can't see all of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talking about Cam Newton or
Yeah,
Schuster?
let's hear the Cam
We got
Newton.
two good ones. Cam
Yeah,
Newton needs Cam Newton needs to stop looking like he's auditioning Tyler Perry presents Medea goes to training camp.
What'd you say about Medea?
Oh my gosh.
Got him!
Did you see the Blitz our show on Monday night?
Yeah.
Those guys, they had a good one.
They did have a good one. I love they with the little helmets, the tinfoil. That was kind of funny too.
Oh yeah, they crack me up.
Love it. All right, Michael, let's move on. I'm on
All
the
right,
hot
Jay,
seat,
let me
brother.
get you here. Hell no, hell yeah. Do the Steelers, your your team, the team you root for, need to rebuild with the news Big Ben is out for the year.
Hell no.
Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no.
And a part of my answer why I say that, Mike, is because you don't push a boulder up. When a boulder's going downhill, you don't push it. They're never going to rebuild. That's just not acceptable to their fan base.
Yeah.
It's not acceptable to their organization. So we know Big Ben's out for the year. What happens there, I don't know. He signed that extension, expected to be there at least 2 more years.
Yeah.
We'll see. He says he wants to finish his contract. I don't know.
It's Tommy John, right?
Well, no, yeah, it's
His elbow,
he's
right?
having surgery. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's the
week.
Tommy John surgery is the one he has to fix.
So he's out.
This is where I don't see him back in a year. I think it's gonna be a little bit longer.
No,
He's older.
I think it's going to be
Also,
long term.
we're talking about Big Ben. My only difference here, and I'm not saying this to like dumb on the Steelers. It's more like Big Ben. I don't know if he exactly takes care of himself. Like he looks like I would be if I was an NFL
He has
quarterback.
lost weight. His problem is in football years, he's 36 going on 66.
Yes, that's where I agree.
I don't recall. So Big Ben has been the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers before I could legally buy a beer.
Wow,
That
puts
tells
it in
you about
perspective,
his
right?
career.
Oh, he's a Hall of Famer.
Of his 16 years, I think he may have been fully healthy for 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
There was once a very crazy graphic that showed his body
Yep.
and all the injuries that occurred. This guy he's beat up. But they did, although it was highly debated, they did send a big signal with their pickup of Minkah Fitzpatrick this week. I think it was a sign by the organization. And my first reaction was, what the hell are they doing? But then I kind of thought about it. And here's the deal. So let's say hypothetically they finish like 6-10, which is realistic, okay? Maybe they get like the 8th to 15th pick.
Oh yeah.
Okay? Minkah Fitzpatrick is one of the best in his position groups in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
They needed help in the defensive backfield anyways. Where are you going to find a safety or corner as talented as him in the draft right now?
Well,
So
you may see that potential talent, right?
Maybe.
So I think what you're saying,
But you're
and I
seeing
agree with you
proven
here.
talent in Minkah
Exactly.
Fitzpatrick.
He is an asset
a guy who's
right
done it.
now.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more on that one. That's where I initially was like, wow, they gave up a lot.
I know.
But then you think about it, a first round pick, it's a lock. Like, he's good already.
Yeah.
That's where I think that security in it not only sends a
Yeah.
message, but I think it is actually, I thought it was a good trade actually.
Yeah,
hate to say
I do too. It's Mike, it's hard to see. I'm going to be paying attention, as are other Steelers fans, and I think a lot of fans in the NFL, just to see where they go from here. But they're never going to rebuild. Neither should they. I think it's going to be a fun year to watch, just to see how these guys develop. And I just want to give a shout out to my guy, DC4L Custom Tees, gave me this shirt. Michigan to Pittsburgh, the Bush shirt, pretty cool. Just want to give him a shout out for that. But
He's on my IDP fantasy team. He did well for me this week.
nice.
Yeah, I was a
Okay.
big fan of it. Speaking of transitioning, we are going to talk about the Giants. Yesterday,
Yeah.
in a sad set of news, I'm a fan of Eli. They announced that Eli Manning is going to be benched for Daniel Jones. I think it is an exciting thing, but hell no, hell yeah. Was it the right time to elevate the rookie?
Hell yeah. I mean, but that's, guys, wherever he is. No. Oh,
Hell yeah.
hell yeah. Give me a hell yeah. What? What? There you go, guys.
There it is.
So, one, you could debate that the right time was 2 years ago. You could debate it was 2 months ago. You could debate it was any time. So, Eli had 15 years as a starter. He won 2 Super Bowls. He made more money than most quarterbacks in their career. So he's in the top 5 in quarterback earnings for salaries, of anyone all time. So they did the right thing by him, right? To say, look, you're not going to have the statistics. You don't get the respect, but we're going to show you our respect from our pocketbook. And that's exactly what the Giants did. It was never, ever going to be the right time.
No, it
Never.
wasn't. How do you replace a 2-time Super Bowl winning champ? And the best part is he beat the GOAT.
He did.
He's 3-2 against Brady.
He'll always have that.
He will always, and I honestly, like his stats, they won't be Hall of Fame numbers.
No, but he's going to be in that discussion. He will be.
When you have those rings like that, you will, and you're a huge market, people are going to love him down the line. But you know what? The Giants team, they did well by him by paying him.
Yeah.
They did not do well by him by protecting
Oh,
him.
no.
So
no,
the last 2
no.
years, it didn't matter if he was good or not.
Yeah.
He was on his back all the time. You could see it in the way he plays now. But anyways,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying this to.
What's it? I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. But so, but now Daniel Jones comes in at a really bad time. You got Golden Tate suspended. Sterling Shepard and Cody Lattimore are both in concussion protocol. But their O-line played decently last week.
Yeah.
They're starting to come together, which is something you couldn't say in the first week or all of last season.
Yep.
So, hey,
Yeah.
just got to move on. Give the guy credit. Give him his due. He'll be in the talk for Hall of Fame, but it's time to move on.
All right.
Yeah. Speaking of move on, let's move on and talk about next week, guys. So we've got a pretty interesting week coming up. One, going back to our friends at Saucy Brew Works, we're going to review Uber ASAP. Great title. Great title. Uber ASAP. Get you home. You know what I'm saying? On deck, we're going to talk NFL Week 4. We're going to talk college football Week 5.
Yep.
Don't forget to check out our family of shows on Monday. We've got Blitz Football coming to you at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. At 9 o'clock, our guy down the line here, Big Play Cleveland Reflog Show with Davey Mack, Breezy Clee, and McNeil. Tuesday, Fred and Scott bring you Birdland BS, talking all things
Birdman
Baltimore sports. Maryland Terps, interesting week for them. Oof.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. Wednesdays, of course, we are the Big Play Podcast, coming to you every Wednesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. The Rebecca Grant NFL Preview Show.
Stick around.
Yeah, stick around for that. Thursday, Big Play Gaming, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Our buddy, the Mutt Guru, Mike, is going to be streaming
Mike McFadden,
games.
yes.
He's going to be talking about the gaming world, what's going on. Social stuff. Follow our sponsors here, guys. Saucy Brew Works on Twitter and Instagram. They're at Saucy Brew Works. On Facebook, at Saucy Brew Works, CLE. The podcast is Dave just keeps playing.
That's Cleveland Till I Die, baby.
Was it? I
Yeah,
like that.
well,
I like that.
I think it was an accidental, but
That's okay. It was
it
fitting.
works with Saucy Brew Works being a Cleveland brewery.
It was fitting, yeah. Follow the Big Play Podcast on Twitter at the Big Play Podcast. Follow Big Play. Check out our articles from our very talented team of writers at bigplay_com, and you can always check it all out on bigplay.com. For the Big Play Podcast, I'm your guy, Big Play Jay. The guy to my right is Big Play Beats. And producer in his seat, Davey Mack, the CEO over there. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Check us out next week. Have a great weekend. Enjoy football in the fall.
Oh, hell yeah. I tell you what, that's terrible.
Davey Mack, speedy wide receiver out of Miami of Ohio. Big Play J, tough lineman, University of Akron. Yeah. Great show, excellent content. Love the energy of these guys.
Live from Cehuateneo, Mexico, with Andy Duval.